Here. We have seen the episodes, Tales of the Jedi. You and I had this conversation about whether we're going to do part one and part two. Looks like we're going to go through all six episodes right now. So thank you very much for joining us. I'm Kerwin. This is Keith. We are Father Son
Hello.
Galaxy. Thank you for welcome, first of all, and thank you. If you're new to our channel, please like this video and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Let's get into the first episode. There are six episodes. Episode one, Life and Death. This was the episode that we saw at
At
Star
Star
Wars
Wars
Celebration,
Celebration.
right? And it was
Now we can spoil it for everyone.
right, and it's fantastic just to talk about it again. This is the birth of Ahsoka Tano. We get to see her parents. Um, we They announced the birth at her village in Togruta. Is that the name of the planet?
Yes.
All right. And when Ahsoka becomes a year old, her mother takes her out hunting. This is something that they do. It's something that they practice. It's common ritual that they do. So she's taking her 1 year old hunting, and they do.
Yes, 1 year old
Yes.
hunting.
Well, okay. Well, that's what they do there. So, her mother name is Pavti.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Takes
sure that'd be frowned upon up here.
Yes, right, right. It's their culture. Takes a daughter, and she does have a blaster, and she does knock down an animal called a kaibok. Like a
Like a
deer.
deer.
Right, exactly. But they're hunting for food, right? So that's the reason why they need to hunt. However,
And
their
then she kind of brings
encounter.
Ahsoka closer. She's like, "Don't be afraid of it," and then stabs it. And I'm like,
Right. Okay. I was going to leave that out, but okay. So then the
"No."
creature, there's this creature like this big saber-toothed tiger,
It looked
comes
like a
out.
saber-tooth tiger.
Yeah, it comes out and scares Pop T. She's trying to defend herself. She did the best she could. And the villagers hears the screams and the growls. They come out and blast. Too late. The creature grabs Ahsoka and is gone. All right.
Yep.
So now we see a scene with Ahsoka and the creature. Just the two of them. Ahsoka makes a move. Creature goes after Ahsoka, and Ahsoka uses the Force, right, to tame this animal. And not only does she tame the animal, she actually uses the animal to carry her back to her village.
Precisely.
Yeah, so she goes back to her village, and everybody's in shock. Like, she's smiling, she's healthy. Her mother picks her up, and she asks the elder of the town. And the elder's name is Gatika.
Yeah, she's like, "How could this be?"
How could this be? And then Gatika says, Jedi. Ahsoka is Jedi, right? And that's how that episode ends. So that's episode one. We forgot to mention that we're going to go through each episode, right? And we're want to make sure if you have any questions or comments regarding the episode, just let us know. So now that was a quick review of episode one, but that was pretty much it. All
And we
right.
received
So
a
if you have any
comment.
questions or comments,
Alex.
let us know. All right.
Right, Alex. Hey guys, happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Smiley face. You too.
Yeah, thank you. All
All
right.
right, let's move on to episod 2.
All right, Alex. I hope you've
Which
seen the
is
episodes.
called
We're gonna move
Justice.
we're gonna move to episode two. Do you want to take Justice, or you want me to go ahead?
Oh yeah, I'll take Justice.
Okay.
So it's Dooku
Mm-hmm.
and his Padawan Qui-Gon Jinn, and they're on this planet, and they're looking for help from some villagers trying to find Senator Dagonet's son. So they end up finding out that the villagers are the ones who kidnapped his son
Mm-hmm.
and are in fact holding him hostage. Senator Dagonet's not what he appears because he just so happens to be an evil senator
Mm-hmm.
who is ignoring his people for personal gain. And the villagers, they're fed up, so they decided to take matters into their own hands by using force. And it doesn't turn out so well because the senator kind of comes in with his army and he's like, "Give me my son back." And then there's a whole blaster fight. The villagers aren't as well trained as the soldiers, so they kind of get beaten out. But then Dooku comes out. He just starts force choking the senator.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
lost control.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
lost his cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And the senator's like, "Bleh." So then Qui-Gon got the bright idea to go run and get the senator's son to try to stop Dooku. And it worked, of course, because Dooku let him go. And finally, the senator and his son were reunited. But the senator's son's like, "Why would you do this? These are your people." And he doesn't particularly blame them for kidnapping him. But, that's how the episode ends. And of course, the son promises that all their suffering will stop.
Right. So these villagers are living by very low means. They don't really have a lot of money. They don't actually they're starving.
They're quite poor.
Yeah, they're very poor, and they sometimes don't even have enough to eat. And he is
They
a
don't have enough for
senator
themselves.
representing these people, and apparently he's just representing himself. Like he's rich and he has a family.
Rich
they live
and powerful. You know how it
yeah.
be.
There he's probably living somewhere in Coruscant, because that's where the senators are, and he doesn't really have any interest in these villagers until they kidnap his son, and then he goes and takes an army and goes after them, and then he realizes, okay, well, these are the people that you're supposed to be working for. They represent you. So I hope he learns a lesson from this. So I wanted to say, going back to episode 1, just wanted to mention that again, we did see this episode at Star Wars Celebration. They did have the actor who played Ahsoka's mom, Pop-Tier. Her name is Janina Gavankar. Just wanted to mention that name because she was very, very good in this episode. So just wanted to bring that up. All right, back to episode 2. So just want to just talk about the cast. Corey Burton, if that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, Cad Bane.
Cad
my
Bane
man.
does the voice of Count Dooku, and we have Mikhail Richardson. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Mikhail Richardson is actually the son of
Liam
Neeson, right? And Miranda Richardson, all right? So he played a young Qui-Gon Jinn. And then Vanessa Marshall played the village elder, all right? So I thought that was very cool. All right. So let me know if you have any comments about episode 2.
Let's take a quick Q&A break.
Yes.
So, Alex, episode 1 was cool, and yep, I saw them all. And Devin Lindsay, happy Thursday. Sorry I'm late to the show. I haven't watched it yet. Do you recommend? Yes,
absolutely.
We absolutely recommend.
Yeah, we're sorry that we're spoiling it for you, Lindsay. I hope, Devin, we hope you're okay with that. But I absolutely recommend it, especially if you're fans of the Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels, any of the animated
or Bad
series.
Batch.
Yeah,
just like these animated series, since they got so good.
Yeah.
Because once their animation picked up, then we finally got more cohesive storylines. Because the Clone Wars was kind of more of different episodes being strung together, and occasionally the 2 to 3 parter.
Yes, exactly. And the animation has never been better. I'm telling you, when the Bad Batch last season, the first season of the Bad Batch was just groundbreaking. So the animation's on this level. Okay, so yes, it's so well done. So right now we're going into episode 2. We just finished episode 2, Justice. We're going through the rest of the episode, so let's move on to number 3. All right, and
number 3 is called Flip the Paper.
Okay. Choices. Yes, thank you very much. Choices. All right, now this is Count Dooku and Mace Windu. They are heading to Raxus now. We're going to talk about that planet in a little bit, but apparently one of their Jedi masters, her name is Master Katri, perished on that planet, and they're going to bring her body back to Coruscant to bury her. However, Count Dooku has suspicions as to what actually happened to her. Why did she die? So he gets to the planet and he talks to the senator. Apparently the senator was one of the last people to see the Jedi Master. And the senator tells his story. He just seems very, very nervous and fishy. His story is like, oh, well, I can't tell you. Everything's so blurry. There were so many people. I don't remember how many people there were. She was ambushed. And apparently he was there when it happened, but he came out okay. And, the Jedi Master lost her life. So Dooku asked the senator to take them back to the scene of the crime where it took place. And, Dooku's looking around like he's being a private eye, and he realized, well, something is not right, because if this was an ambush or a blast. There was a ship. The Senator's ship was
And a
also
huge
there.
one at that. So why
Right.
wasn't the ship?
And
Why
the
was the ship completely clean and blastomer's?
Right. The ship was never touched. Right. So it looks like they were intentionally targeting the Jedi. And then the Senator finally admits that that he did lie, that it was a hit, and he blamed his security guards for it.
And then they shot him in the
And
head.
the security guards took him out. And so there was a little bit a blast of fire between the Jedi and the security guards.
And let's just say
Jedi won.
0-1.
Right.
Jedi's favor.
Yeah, exactly. So Dooku and Mace questioned these guards and asked, okay, well, what happened? He said, well, this senator, we've heard this story before.
Yeah,
it's like all the senators, we know that the senators are just very, very
because all senators
selfish.
just have to be so selfish.
Yes.
Hey, where have I heard selfish senator before?
Orrin Free Todd. Remember that? I remember that name. Just these senators are just making money for themselves. They're supposed to be representing their people, and their people are the ones who are suffering.
What is up with all the corrupt senators?
Corruption.
Even in Tales of the Jedi. There have been 2 already, back to back.
That's exactly it. The corruption that's going on is just absolutely, it's ridiculous. So, so that was their excuse. And the next question was, well, why did you have to kill the Jedi? And I wrote down the quote from the security guard, and he said that the Jedi are like the lapdogs of the Senate, and they'll do anything to keep the Jedi will do anything to keep law and order for the rich and powerful. So the Jedi did not represent them, just like their senators don't represent, right? Yeah, unfortunately, and that's how people view the Jedi. So these security guards are taken to prison, and Dooku has a heart-to-heart talk with one of them and says, "You know what? I like your ideology. You do have some good points, but what you did was still wrong. You have to
pay for your
actions."
See, he took a better approach than he has.
Yes, right. And then we had the funeral for the master who lost her life, and then Dooku and Mace Windu have a conversation, and Dooku has a question. He's starting to become disengaged with the Jedi himself. You know what I mean? Like very slowly. So he asked Windu the question, how long do we plan, the Jedi plan to keep the peace if they continue to take everything they say from the Senate as law? Well,
they ain't gonna get far.
Right. Well, Mace Windu responds that we are guided by the council, not by the politics or ego. Woo. Now,
yeah, that makes perfect sense. Mace Windu, who's so egotistic and just seems to hate R2-D2 and Anakin.
Well, not only that. Well, we do know that eventually that the Jedi is guided by the politics of the Senate, and that is the problem. That also and ego, and that also led to the downfall. But remember, this storyline is actually taking place, years before the Clone Wars, and Mace Windu is not even on the council at this point.
Well, he is at the end of the episode.
Well, right. Yeah, at the end of the episode, he is appointed to the council, and Dooku was like, well, wait a second. Did you know that you were going to be on the council? And, I keep saying Qui-Gon. And Mace Windu says, no, I had no idea. I just found out about it just as soon as you did.
Why didn't they offer Dooku a seat?
I think Dooku is a little upset that he wasn't offered a seat.
I think if they offered Dooku a seat,
yeah,
he would have been a lot less inclined to betray the Jedi.
Yeah, maybe he may have felt that he was valued more if he was on the council, but now that he isn't, he probably considered a troublemaker, sort of like Qui-Gon, like when Qui-Gon gets up in age and he becomes his own, he becomes master.
Because Dooku's the one who solved the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dooku's the one who put the pieces together. And yet they didn't give him a seat because Mace Windu did absolutely nothing for this mission. Let me just say,
really?
Like all he did was pull out the lightsaber and do what with it?
Well, he got justice done, right? No,
That was what Dooku did.
Yes. All right. Well, one thing before we move on from episode 3, there's a quote that I enjoyed from Dooku and Window. This is at the beginning of their travel to Raxus. Um, you know, Dooku wants to investigate what happened to the Jedi, but Mace Windu says we're not there to investigate. We're there just to pick up the body of the Jedi, and and Mace Windu quoted the rules to Dooku, and Dooku said, "You know what? Your devotion to the rules is sometimes inspiring and sometimes maddening." I thought that was pretty cool. So, all right. Okay, and Raxus, and by the way, Raxus is the same planet that
You saw the Bad Batch,
yeah, the Bad Batch, where
the
they're
one
actually.
whose landscape you went to.
Oh, I loved it. It was such a beautiful planet. I don't recall which episode it was, but they were there to actually protect the senator at that time from the Imperials being, invading their planet. Just the usual story.
They're gonna need a new senator.
All right. I think you have the notes for episode 4. Is that over there? No. Okay. Yeah, episode 4. All right, episode 4. Let's move on to episode 4. We are talking about
the Sith Lord.
Sith Lord. Okay.
The Sith Lord.
All right. Do we have? Let me know if you have any comments about episode 4. That we're going to move into that. The Sith Lord. All right. This takes place at the Jedi Council. This is the 3rd and final episode regarding Count Dooku.
Yeah.
Dooku is walking the Jedi archives. Every time I see the archives, I think of Jocasta Nu.
Because she runs it.
She runs the archive, and of course she did show up. And
of course she did. They can't show the archives without showing Jocasta.
Exactly. And Dooku is asking, well, what's all the commotion about? And she says, well, your Padawan Qui-Gon has seen to encounter the Sith Lord. And
it's like, what?
Right. And Dooku goes to Qui-Gon and asks the question, and Qui-Gon says yes. He believes that he was a Sith Lord. Dooku's not happy to hear that. But we know that this is taking place during the Phantom Menace, because the Sith Lord he's referring to is Darth Maul.
Of course it is.
Yes, Darth Maul. Okay. Now we move some time later, and we see Qui-Gon at this place where he and his Padawan used to attend. And we now realize that time has passed and that Qui-Gon is now one with the Force.
You just said Qui-Gon was there. Is it Dooku who was there?
Well, right. Dooku was at the tree, right? At a place where he and his Padawan used to go to.
Yeah, but you said Qui-Gon.
Okay. All right. And then we realize now that Qui-Gon is now gone, one with the Force. Mm-hmm. All right.
But real quick, let's take a Q&A break.
Okay.
Right. Alex?
Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let's finish up episode 4. All right. So Count Dooku is well, he's not the Count. Dooku is not very happy that he lost his Padawan. And he flies away. He's having prior to that, let's talk about Yaddle. Yaddle is also in this episode, okay? And we're going to talk more about Yaddle, but let's just get through this storyline. So Yaddle is speaking with Qui-Gon, and she knows that he's in mourning, mourning the loss of Dooku is mourning the loss of Qui-Gon, and she's asking him if she's going to go to his funeral, and he says no, he doesn't want to. He's going to skip it. So he gets into his ship and he takes off. Yaddle's a little concerned and suspicious as to where he's going, so she follows him. So he goes to this place, not sure where this is, dark place, and he meets up with none other than the Emperor himself, Palpatine. And Dooku is upset with Palpatine. He says, "How did you let this happen? I lost my Padawan." And then the Emperor says, "Well, I lost my Padawan as well." So we know that Dooku lost his life, at the time. Dooku lost. Qui-Gon lost his life. We also know that Maul lost his life at the time. Lost his life. All right. Okay. All right. Yaddle hears the whole thing. So Yaddle is aware that Dooku has something going on with the creation of this clone army, because at the beginning of the episode, Qui-Gon goes to the archive, right? And he uses a security clearance code that was given to not him, but Master Sifo-Dyas. All right. Now, if you know
Suspicious.
now, if you know that name, Sifo-Dyas in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, apparently was responsible for working with the Kaminoans on creating the clone army. All right.
Precise.
But now we know Sifo-Dyas really had nothing to do with it. It was actually Qui-Gon that used the security clearance. All right. So Qui-Gon goes in, he deletes, erases everything there is about Kamino.
You mean Dooku?
I'm sorry. Dooku erases everything that he knows about Kamino, everything about the clone army. That's all gone. Okay. So now back to the Emperor and Dooku. Yaddle once again hears the whole thing. She knows what's going on, and they battle. Yaddle and Dooku battle, and it looks like things are really going bad for Yaddle, and she gets sandwiched in between these metal doors, right? And we think she's gone, but she uses the Force, all of her might, whatever she had left of the Force, to open the doors, and she rolled and tumbled out and crawled out, and she said something that was very important. I want to talk about that now. So she mentioned to Dooku before she passed that she agreed. I'm sorry?
You spoiled it.
I can't hear you.
You just spoiled it.
What do you mean?
The ending.
Well, we're talking about the episode.
I know.
Okay.
All right. I thought we were saying that part at the end.
Well, we're at the end. All right. So what she said was before she passed was that she says to Dooku, I agree with you. I agree with what you said about the council. I agree that maybe they might have made better decisions, that Qui-Gon didn't have to lose his life. And she, at the time, if you remember, she was on the council during the Phantom Menace. We don't know what happened to her during Attack of the Clones.
Or didn't.
Right. Okay. And so apparently she actually stepped down from the council. So this is what she told Dooku, and that was her last breath before Dooku took her life. And it was very interesting because we've talked about Yaddle. First of all, this is the first time we ever had a story of Yaddle. First time we ever heard her speak, right? As far as I know.
She doesn't speak backwards like Yoda.
No, she doesn't, right? And by the way, she is voiced by Bryce Dallas Howard, which she did a very, very good job. But I want to talk about Yaddle. When she was on the council, we know that there are only a few people on the council that did the talking. It was Yoda, it was Mace Windu, it was Ki-Adi-Mundi. Those three did most of the talking for the council. Yeah. Yaddle said nothing. All right. And my theory is that the reason why she didn't say anything is because she didn't agree with probably most of what Yoda and Windu had to say, right?
Yeah.
And instead of maybe speaking up and speaking her mind, maybe she was afraid that she was going to get
quiet.
Yeah, she stayed quiet. Maybe she was afraid that she was going to get kicked out of the council. But I don't know. Maybe she could have said something sooner, but she didn't. But now it makes sense that she admitted to Dooku that she did agree with some of the things that Dooku had to say. But too little, too late then, right? So that's episode 4. Anything else you want to add about episode 4?
Nope.
Yeah, I thought it was a very powerful episode. Like I said, that was the last episode with Dooku. Yeah, so that was a really good one. So let's go into episode 5. All right. So let's talk about episode 5. Practice makes perfect.
All right.
You want to talk about that
one?
one?
This episode was kind of basic.
Yep.
So it was Ahsoka and Anakin training. So Ahsoka just cut up the probe droids that were supposed to be training her, and they are kind of destroyed. So Anakin's like, well, you did that, so let's do this. And he gives her a bit of an insane challenge. So he grabs all of Rex's men and pits them against her using stuns, of course. And he just threw Ahsoka in and told her, do it. Just like deflect the bolts. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And just kind of kicked her in. And she's like, oh. And the first couple of times she got knocked over, got back up again, kept fighting, kept getting stunned when she least expected it.
But what he was doing is preparing her for battle, right?
Yeah, because when you're in battle, it's not always going to be the most predictable shots.
Yes.
Because the probe droids were too predictable for her. So he wanted to prepare her for the real world where she'd have to fight battle droids as well.
Exactly. And then we know that she's going to be put to the test when, you tell me about how this connects to the last episodes of the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm. So we got an ending scene of Ahsoka and Rex, and they're pretending that Ahsoka is prisoner and Rex is bringing her in, and they walk into this room full of clone troopers that used to serve under her, and Rex is like, act normal, and then they walk in and they're pretending like Ahsoka's a Jedi that he captured, and then roll credits, blast door shut.
Right. So that was taking place after Order 66, right? Right after Order 66 when it was announced?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right.
How are you doing?
Good.
Okay.
All right. Let's get to episode 6. I got this one.
Yes, I know you would. I can't wait to hear about episode 6. Final episode.
So this episode was actually loosely based on the Ahsoka novel.
Yes.
And you'll get it when I read the actual notes.
Yes, if you read the book. Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Which you've read how many times? I keep asking.
Billions.
Billions and billions of times. Yes. Okay.
So this episode resolved.
By the way, so this book Ahsoka is by E.K. Johnston. I don't know if I held it up high enough. E.K. Johnston.
I think they can see it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So Ahsoka is attending Padme's funeral because we have to see that again. And Bail is asking her to join the rebellion, and Ahsoka at this time is like, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Bail tries to give her a comm link, and she has no choice but to take it because at that time, a couple of clone troopers end up walking in on their conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And since Ahsoka's a Jedi and she can't be spotted, she kind of jumped out of sight. And ended up having to keep the comm link because Bail was forced to go back inside since there's, nobody allowed in that area. So then we fast forward a little, and this is after Order 66. Ahsoka's laying low on a farming planet, and she saves this kid from a little bit of a farming accident. So there's a creaky old robot that they use to carry tons of hay bales, and that robot snapped the servo, and all those hay bales went flying, as well as the actual robot and their bed. What do you call that thing?
Like a bale of hay? You mean?
No, that thing that they put the hay on, the metal plate.
Yeah, like a flatbread.
Yeah, that's it, a flatbed truck.
Flatbed. Yeah, right.
Imagine if it were flatbread truck.
I would love a flatbread truck. Lots of bread. And remember, Ahsoka
put a little ketchup on it, maybe.
Yes, she's not using her real name, right? Her name is Asha. Ashla. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So she's going under a fake name.
Yes.
But eventually, that kid she saved figures out what she did.
Right. I'm sorry. She's going under a fake name because she doesn't want people to know that she is a Jedi, right? Because Jedis right now are being hunted down.
Because it's Order 66.
Exactly. And she is doing the best she can to not use the Force.
Yeah.
But apparently she did to save this boy's life.
There was a girl.
Really? It was a girl? Okay. All right.
Yeah. And she's like, oh my gosh, she saved me. But, I can keep a secret. I know you use the Force, but I'll keep it a secret. So good book. And then they decide to leave the village real quick so they can bring out the harvest, right? And this is when all chaos breaks loose. Because when they come back, the village is in flames, and there's only 2 survivors, which is a boy who called the police on Ahsoka.
The
Imperials.
Right, yeah.
who are the police.
And why did he call the Empire?
Well,
Because
she's a Jedi.
yes, right. Because he spotted her using the Force, and he put two and two together and said,
So
"Well,
much.
what do you say? May the Force be with you." Did you
Yeah.
say that? That they were
And so much
riding
stupidity,
away? Yeah,
so much carnage.
yeah. Just he's almost like he reminds me of Tim in Andor.
Yeah,
is this,
except he
the
survived.
snitch. Yeah,
You know,
right. Go
one
ahead.
snitch nobody likes who causes an entire ruckus.
Right. Well, go ahead. Continue your story.
But basically, it's just him and this old man. I assume is their father or their
Mhm.
friend. I don't know. But then he's like, "You lied to me." The Inquisitor says, "You lied to me. There's no Jedi here." And he's like, And Ahsoka just comes in and she's like, "He's not lying. I'm right here." And I don't even know if you can call it a duel, but like
It was quick.
2 punches are thrown. Ahsoka grabs his lightsaber, and Mask falls on the floor.
Yeah. And
There
this is
wasn't
the
even
sixth brother.
was there even a face into that? Because he's just like, I don't know what that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't tell if that was an animatronic or an actual person. Because like it was just like a mask that
Yeah.
fell.
Well, wasn't that cool to see? Like we said, it's loosely based on the book, but seeing some scenes from the book come to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I was hoping for a full-on live-action rendition of the book, but
Yeah, we'll take this. Right. So the sixth brother, right? So we know the fate of the six brothers. Way back when we were talking about the Inquisitors, right before the Obi-Wan Kenobi series came out, we talked about the brothers and the sisters, right? And one of them was mentioned was the sixth brother.
They are not brothers and sisters.
Right, which we know now, we can see, firsthand that he was defeated by Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah.
In this episode. So
wasn't that hard for her to do? Even though she had no weapon, she's just like, 1, 2.
Yes.
The winner.
Yes, all that training that she had with Anakin really paid off.
Yeah.
Right?
And that was the episode.
And those are the 6 episodes. And by the way, we have the usual cast return. We got Ashley Eckstein as Ahsoka, Matt Lanter is Anakin Skywalker, James Arnold Taylor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? Yeah.
Oh, the mullet last episode.
Yes.
The mullet in practice makes perfect. I was like,
and right. And so I don't know if anybody else caught it, but we also saw Caleb Doom with his master, Depa Billaba.
And if any of you remember Tara Sanubi from the Clone Wars in that episode, Lightsaber Lost, when he helped Ahsoka find her lightsaber. He was in one of these episodes, actually. He was in episode 3, I believe, at the funeral.
Oh, really? Okay. And by the way, so Caleb and Depa Billaba was in episode 5, right? The training. Okay.
All right. Let's take a quick break for Q&A.
Okay. All right. So what do we have? So that covers all 6 episodes. So let's talk about whatever episode you want to talk about. Comment, whatever comments you have. All right, Alex. Yes.
Q+, episode 6 was so good. Did you have a favorite Ahsoka episode?
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. I think it's the last episode because we really got to see some cool Ahsoka moves. Just she utterly destroyed that Inquisitor.
Yeah.
That Inquisitor did not stand a chance.
He did not. Yeah, I agree with you. I enjoyed the last episode because it just seemed familiar to me because I didn't read the Ahsoka book as much as you did, but then
he tried and failed.
Well, okay. When things started to piece together, I said, wait a second, this looks familiar. Okay. And then when I realized that this was from the book, and then we saw the Inquisitor come up, I said, oh, right, that's the Inquisitor that she took down. So that was.
She didn't take his lightsaber.
Right, that's true. That's a very good point. We didn't see her take the lightsaber, and I think what she did was she took the crystals, right, the kyber crystal, and changed it from red to white. Is that the color? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we have Devin Lindsay.
Yeah. What else?
What would you say that you've learned the most about after watching this series? I don't know.
Well, okay.
I gotta say, I'm glad we learned some more about Dooku's backstory.
Yeah.
Because, Dooku's backstory we weren't getting to see much of. We just saw him more as, a villain, but we didn't get to know much about him and his origin story. We know everyone else's origins. We know Palpatine's, we know Anakin's, we know Ahsoka's, we know everyone else's backstory, but now we finally get an in-depth look at Dooku's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and his Padawan.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, what happened to Yaddle?
Well, right. That was one thing. Yaddle. I liked knowing about who Yaddle was because, like I said, we had nothing to go by. She had no lines in the film, so it was good to see, her story, you know, where it went, how it ended. Unfortunately, we got to see that. I do like that the
Unfortunately.
storylines,
Oh,
with Count Dooku especially, the storylines are very consistent, and it made sense to me as
it's
to
like a three-parter movie.
yeah, and it made sense to me his transition, from starting off as this Jedi, very powerful Jedi, and becoming a Jedi Master to Qui-Gon Jinn,
Then
and then
influence the
he's
dark
just
side.
slowly is just losing interest,
Because
or
you could see it from the first time we saw him with
yeah,
the third Force Trick of the Senator.
yes,
And then you saw it again in the third episode during choices when he was about to destroy that guard. And then you saw it more of and more of in the fourth episode when he took out Yaddle.
yeah, you just
You could
slow.
just see his slow but sure
Yeah,
transformation.
he's just becoming more and more disillusioned by the Jedi, and you just saw it happen. And
You saw him crumble right before our eyes.
exactly right. And I love how we have more of an answer as to how Cypher Diaz was actually involved in the creation of the clones. Pretty much no involvement whatsoever. It was Dooku.
Yeah, because Cypher Diaz had the plans,
Exactly.
but then all of a
Right.
sudden Dooku's like,
Right.
you know what? I'm gonna take this. Jocasta, can you make sure nobody follows me? Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kevin Owens, here you go.
Yes. Right.
Take this.
Delete all that. Yes. Right. So I love it. I love the storyline. So it just continues to grow. The lore, the stories that we grew up to.
Yeah, it's
to
like the
know
Empire's
about.
SMP lore. Watch Small Spaces new episode.
Okay.
And Grian's last two.
Yeah. So that was Thank you for your question. Thank you very much for that question. Yeah, it was really really great. Do we have any other Q&A?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna bring that up right now. But yeah, so those are the 6
A
episodes.
Blackbird Chuck would be nice, by
Yeah,
the way.
right. Yeah, and very good points about the show. I'm going to start watching it tonight. Yeah, Devin, I absolutely please watch it. Let us know what you think. It's wonderful.
Yeah, very
Like I
great
said,
points about the show. I'm going to
yeah.
start watching it tonight.
And
Please do. You should. It's really good, but
Yeah.
each short's about 15 to 20 minutes long,
Yeah.
so you might want to clear out like an hour and a half. That's what we do.
But it goes very fast. It's good. Yeah, I just finished watching the last Andor episode.
And I
Yep.
felt very stressed
Stressed
out
out.
watching that Andor is stuck in a working camp.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
sad.
yeah, he is. Yeah, and then we talked about that yesterday, as a matter of fact. Yeah, yeah, we're hoping, Keith, especially that. Okay, well, I hope for next Wednesday's episode that there's going to be more to see with this prison camp. We don't want it to just be the same routine thing over and over.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I can't tolerate
Yeah.
another episode
Well,
of this man waking up, clear, hands clear,
Yeah.
da, 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 da.
yeah.
It's just so boring.
Yes, you never know. All right, so just to let you know, next week we will be back on Wednesday for episode 9.
You know it.
Episode 9 of Andor. We'll also have by next Wednesday we'll have more information as to some things that we have planned for the Black Panther Wakanda Forever release. Actually, so we yesterday, Wednesday, was the premiere in Hollywood of the film, and it's getting positive reviews already. We have not seen it, obviously.
Yeah,
but we can't wait to see it. We have our tickets for the 11th, Friday the 11th.
When it comes out.
Opening day. But we're going to be doing some things, talking more about Black Panther, Wakanda, just to get us all ready for the new film. All right. So that more information coming up next week. All right, Keith, can you let people know where they could find us?
Mm-hmm. Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Amazon Music, Audible, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to listen to us, check out our socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Father Son Galaxy. Please visit our website, fathersongalaxy.com. Please donate to our Patreon page so we can keep making awesome content like this. Can't do without your help.
Yes.
And check out our Spreaker page as well.
Right. Okay. And then we do have a merchandise store that's coming.
Coming
More
soon.
information soon. We're very excited about it. I hope you'll enjoy what we have to offer, but we'll talk about it more. Just keep that in mind. And please like this video. Thank you so much for those who are watching.
Your likes really help.
Yes, they do help a lot. Thank you so much. Just wanted to say one thing for our people who are listening on their audio platforms. I know a majority, I've said this before,
We have 6 likes.
A majority of our listeners listen to Apple Podcasts. We would like if you can leave us some reviews. All right,
yeah.
Please
do, guys.
Our reviews are very low. We love the reviews. If they're good, if they're bad, just leave a review. Hopefully they're not bad, but I
hope not.
We would love to see these reviews. They're very helpful for us. They help us, get our podcast circulated so more people will find out about us. So that's very helpful. So if you listen to Apple, especially, please leave a review or a comment.
Yep, please do.
Okay.
Really appreciate it.
I think we have some more comments coming. All right. So what do we have? Devin, thank you very much for that. Yeah. Thank you. Alex, hope he escapes and hope Big somehow makes it out. Yeah, me too.
Cool. They built up the tension, but I think it'll get more exciting.
I absolutely agree with that. Yes, it's just going to get better. I don't think we had a bad episode yet. So we've already reached 8 episodes.
No, it's all been great.
This has been a fantastic series. Yeah,
Devin
cannot wait to
see it. I'm a big soccer fan, and when Aubin Yang scored a goal when he played for Arsenal, he put on the mask and did the pose in front of all the fans. What's the pose?
The Wakanda. Are you talking about Wakanda?
Oh,
yes, the Wakanda pose.
The Wakanda pose.
Yeah.
Hee.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, we can't wait for the film either. So, yeah, like I said, we got some stuff, to talk about for Black Panther. Next week, we'll have more information for you. All right.
Well, that's it for this episode.
Do we have anything else? Okay. Thank you. Yes, Devin, thank you again. Thank you for a great show. Thank you for listening. I think you might be new. If you are, just thank you for joining us, and please come back.
Thanks for liking, guys.
That's right.
Likes.
Yeah, and come back, please. All right. So we'll be here Wednesday. Okay. Anything else, super producer?
That's my mom.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
My mom.
A big thanks to our producer behind the scenes. This is a family operation. My wife Tanya is the producer of the show. So thank you so much for all you do, all the hard work that you put in. So we really appreciate it.
Love you, Mom.
Thank you.
You get some of my Halloween candy.
Yeah, there you go. Happy Halloween, everyone. Right? Halloween is this weekend. Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
All right. All right. So please enjoy your weekend. We'll see you again on Wednesday. Until then, take care.
And we will see you again. You were off. Let's do that again. All right.
Take care. And we will see
you again.
We will see you again.